Fortnite roadmap for the whole year has appeared online. Thanks to her, we learned a lot of Fortnite secrets that await us ahead. What will the new seasons of Chapter 2 Return be like? Removal of PvE and abandonment of the Battle Royale roads. Birds fell in touch, and yes, you heard right. And this is not some kind of clickbait to attract attention. First, a lot of important information, so I recommend watching the video and without rewinds. Well, now it's good to babble, or as the king says. And I'll start with that. Where did all this commotion come from? On the well-known site 4chan, some anonymous insider posted a screenshot from the presentation of the roadmap for the rest of the year. At first, few people believed in my Telegram channel. There was a separate post where it was said not to trust all information. However, over the next couple of days, it appeared and more evidence of that this screenshot is true. And now we can say for sure that the roadmap is 99% real. But why did I draw such conclusions? First, you need to understand what could be the source of this drain. And if you pay attention to the picture, you might find something interesting there. As it appears, a photograph of the roadmap was taken on one of the epic calls in Zoom. Several details hint at this. Firstly, a green frame around the typical for screen sharing. Secondly, if you look closely at the very right part of the photo, there's a small rectangle with letters below, and most likely this is one of the call participants. What if you put all these facts together? As it appears, one of Epic Games' employees who was at the conference. I just took a picture of the screen demo and then posted it online. Really unclear why, in this case, he did not take a regular screenshot. Maybe it was done that way, so as not to get burned. Or is there any other option? That he took this photo for personal use, and I didn't intend to publish it anywhere. Well, either someone close to him saw, for example, some nephew Fortnite, or even some kind of hacker who accidentally stumbled upon it after a hack. For example, Cloud. After all, we all live on the internet, where there is scam literally at every. So what can we actually see here? The first thing that catches your eye. New season covers. In one of the previous videos, I already had the next season may be associated, and now there is absolute confirmation of this. The truth is almost in the image itself. Can't really see anything. Is it clear that this is Wasteland and some kind of truck? More likely, we'll get something similar to the Mad Max universe, with the ability to customize your cars. All sorts of useful rubbish. And by the way, Mad Max is not mentioned on the roadmap, but maybe we'll get a little collab with him. After all, almost on the release there will be a new film based on something very strange coincidence, or the perfect timing for collaboration. But if with Apocalypse in the season, everything is clear, and we will return to it in the next miniature calls. A huge number of questions. First of all, this poster was not made by Epics. If you search the internet, then you can find a comic about Dr. the Fantastic Four. Where exactly will this scene be on the cover? Here it's worth remembering the collaboration comic. The order has been restored, which never came out. Quite possible that it was not released for release precisely. That it was timed to coincide with the announcement. Chapter 5 is just my guess. But if you take into account the huge amount of development that after the events of the Zero War, Doom promised to return. Generally possible, the events of this season will be a continuation from that story of Doom, and it will most likely be a superhero season to .0 manner of that, as it was during the 4th season of Chapter 2. Maybe old characters like Iron Man, Thor, and others will also return to the island. Or rather, the whole main movement will take place around the Fantastic Four, and especially considering that they are sworn enemies. But everything hinted at the return of G season. It really looks like at this time, we will be moved to the time of Chapter 2, as many basically wanted, and to be more precise, than in the first 3 seasons. And here, we should turn to another drain, which happened on the Fork. He came out a little later, and essentially complements some of the information according to an insider. The whole plot will revolve around a spaceship. Zion, and believe me, even the oldest old people won't remember right away and what kind of ship is this. So as not to drag out the video for a couple of hours, I highly recommend watching this video. Maybe he's a little creepy, but as detailed as possible. And it will immediately become clear. Where did Jonah and her spaceship come from in the story? If we go back to the events of the new OG chapter, according to the mysterious Spotchin insider, they will all revolve around the meta universe and alternative realities. Just like that, this is the spaceship we will use to move between dimensions. Well, the juice. At the end of all this action, they will give us Gina, which sounds too delicious. to be true. But if you consider what the hype ruined the season like before 6 months ago, then the announcement of the next part is just a matter of time. Moreover, the Epics themselves they are working on bringing back the OG season. It just looks like after all this will not be a separate permanent Lego or a festival. And the plot is a separate season, as it was with the first chapter. In the 5th season of the 4th chapter. This is really Miss Hanina. Yeah. That's what happens next in Chapter 6. I'll tell you in a couple of minutes. Another important part of the roadmap. New collaborations. And some of them have already been confirmed. For example, Billie Eilish, already conquering the Fortnite festival. Pirates of the Caribbean are scheduled to visit the island to be more Jack Sparrow and David Jones. And the funniest thing, information about this collab also appeared online a few months ago. As for the modes, which appeared at the beginning of Chapter 5, new performers will appear at the festival, including Metallic Carol, Ye Snoop Dogg, and Doja Cat. Or Doja Cat or Dojo Cat. Right how it reads correctly in general. Lego mode will continue to receive new updates. For example, in summer cubic flower beds, and by the way, their teaser has been in the game, but in the fall there should be 2 major updates coming out at once. The first one will be somehow connected and the second with the traditional Fortnite Halloween. And if you look closely, then you can see a piece of December, where part of the winter biome is hit. Considering the time most likely, it will be something related to Christmas. And here are the lessons of trading. Well, to put it mildly, not for the whole of 2020. Only 4 cards are planned to be released this year, one of which is already out. And apparently, Epic Games sees a low number of players in the mode. And the worse the situation gets, the less content there will be. As I already said, the left cards from Zoom, there is also an addition to it in the form of a separate post. It's hard to say how much you can trust this information, because its author also remained anonymous. And the post itself has already been successfully erased. I got the impression that this is the same person that he leaked the roadmap. So in the post, the anonymous person says that, in addition to the apocalypse and the new sand mechanics of sand corridors will turn out. Remember this one straight from Season 15. By the way, he also talked about the new customization of trucks. According to him, we will have the opportunity to sculpt chainsaws onto and studded tires. Considering that information about the vehicle, this has been happening for a very long time. In addition, already in this information appeared in the game about the possibility of tuning an SUV. So we can safely assume that the Epics are already preparing the ground for the next season of the Insider Classics. Marvel villains, along with former members of the Order will try to take over the 0 Point. Yes, not again. And the Avengers Tower location will appear again. And a mode with Marvel superpowers elimination from Season 14. In combat, the heroes of the Fantastic Four will be missing, and the magnet itself. Just the other day, I was asked a question. Why are there no new Marvel heroes in the battle pass? And the answer didn't take long to arrive. So to speak so, after our meth travels to the universe from Chapter 2, and the teaser of Jen will take us to Chapter 6. And based on that, what Donald Mustard told us in an interview, I guess that Epic Games is putting a huge emphasis on the media. An anonymous insider from Kutchin also writes about this. He expects that Epics will publish a post about that they want to go beyond the Battle Royale. So there will be a lot less content, and updates will be released much less frequently. And by the way, this information is indirectly confirmed by a recent massively removing references to the Battle Royale documents, replacing it with the Meta Universe. He also writes that instead of a royal battle, Epics will start calling us to play Universal in the subway, created at UFN. To me, it already stinks of something unpleasant, to put it mildly. But if by the beginning of next year, it will be possible to take a huge step in the development of save the situation. But as they say, I'd like to believe, but it's hard to believe in short. I have specific concerns about the future window. Like a battle royale. First, Don Mustard tells how Epics moved away from the plot with Universal feces, and now also a battle royale. They want to throw it to the curb, and this despite the fact that if it weren't for this royal battle, wouldn't fucking give up to anyone. In short, these Muserines, they're completely blew the roof off the campaign. I'm just stupid and very mistaken. And at the window, everything will be chicks and here farts. Is the huge world of which Disney, was recently announced, still in early stages of development. Known for now. What's on the new themed island? There will be smooth content, which will be linked to the account. Disney Plus so far, this is not very relevant. In addition, many games from different universes, will be brought there. Fans better sit down now. By 2026, Epics plan to stop serving PvE. founders and those who bought the regime receive some rewards in the form of bucks, exclusive content in other modes. But I'll hasten to reassure everyone, first of all, a whole ton of time will pass and some plans may change. And secondly, Epics can see the audience's reaction. If it happens at all, of course, and even if they may change their mind. Well, if the road maps and we are almost 100% then this information needs confirmation. In general, it's too early to another reason. Yes, and during this time a lot can change. Updated data on this matter. We can get absolutely any moment, so if something comes up, I'll post in Jolcy's loop. And to be honest, then I don't even know what to say. Probably what puzzled me most was that the Epics are planning to wind down their Battle Royale. How can I turn off that mode on which the game rose? I have no idea at all. Anyway, PvE removal and other sad news. This is, of course, to put it mildly, not very cool. Most importantly, remember, while the plot is classified, Fortnite is guaranteed. And may the force be with you, friends.